Hello everyone, I'm Type 1 Dragon and welcome back to The Outline, a look behind the scenes here at the channel where I am more relaxed to give my thoughts on what's going on and what I plan to do forward. Starting off, Happy New Year everyone. It is now 2024 and I'll be 24 this year as well as getting married, so I'm just going to jump into that part and later on I'm going to be talking about Skyrim, Starfield, Baldur's Gate 3, and Crusader Kings 3, as well as my overall goal for the channel this year. As I've mentioned before, I'm getting married this year. I'm getting everything together to both get all my things moved down to my fiance's place, as well as finishing up anything else that I have left here at my parents' house, because in this economy, it's hard to find a place for yourself, especially when you're working at Walmart for $14 an hour. But that's kind of the main thing that's taking over my life at this point, both getting moved down there, finding a new job, or probably just going full-time at Walmart so that I could get a better schedule. Expect uploads for the channel to be a little sporadic going into the next few months, at least until June, where I'm getting everything situated. Channel uploads may only be once a week or once every other week. As the recent case, I haven't been able to upload because of that, both it being the holidays and me getting everything in order to move. But aside from that, for the channel itself, going into 2024, there are three things that I really do want to do for the channel. One, try to grow sales from the 152 mark that we currently have for the subscriber count to a respectable 500, because at that point the channel can start becoming monetized, and that will honestly help relieve a little bit of burden on my end. And when that happens, I'll be able to possibly start doing this full time. I'm not saying I'll end up doing YouTube full time, but the quality that I'll be able to put forward into the channel will be a lot better because there's not so much of a financial burden. It's kind of taboo to talk about that, especially at the beginning of a video, but it is what it is. As I just said, I'm getting married. I got bills to pay. But the one thing I'm not going to escape from this channel is its core foundation. Telling stories through the games I love. And that is something that I'm going to stay at during 2024. Telling stories, telling history, in the case of CK3 and possibly EU4 at some point, we'll see about that, in the games that I absolutely love. And that brings me to talk about Starfield. I know Starfield is kind of a congestive conversation on YouTube, especially of late, because to put it simply, Starfield is as wide as an ocean, but as shallow as a creek. Sure, there's a lot of content in Starfield, but not a lot of it is good. And criticism's super pathetic because I'm not going to let them have it easy. You see more loading screens than you do actual gameplay, especially traveling from system to planet surface to indoor material, killing the equivalent of bandits in Skyrim, leaving building, going back to ship, going back to orbit, traveling to another star system, rinse and repeat verbatim. And there's also the criticism of Starfield. This is a more personal criticism. I love RPGs. I'll go talk about it in a second. Skyrim scratches an itch that I have and is what got me into telling stories. But Starfield, it doesn't scratch that itch that I love. It doesn't have anything that really grips me into it. And that's honestly pretty sad because, as I said, I love Bethesda games. I love Skyrim. But I will criticize the company, the developers, for a game that is honestly a 7 out of 10 at best, but is definitely for me, a 6 out of 10. And that is pretty sad given how much I love Skyrim, how much I enjoyed Fallout 4. I stayed away from Fallout 76, although it is better now. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But Starfield, it's just not that fun to me, especially trying to tell a story with it. It just doesn't scratch that itch. But a game that does scratch that itch is Baldur's Gate 3, and it is as deep as an ocean and just as wide as an ocean. The amount of replayability that this game has, and the care, love, and attention that the developers gave it, it's just, I already have 119 hours in Baldur's Gate 3, and I can easily see myself putting thousands and thousands of hours doing multiple playthroughs, doing co-op with my friends, trying different outcomes for every single situation, trying every single class, and the possibility of an expansion or just a mini DLC of the case of Witcher 3, Hearts of Stone, or Blood and Wine. That is amazing to me. Baldur's Gate 3 scratches an itch that I've been wanting from the gaming sphere for a long time, and that is why it's going to start taking over Starfield. I'm going to put the Starfield playthrough on pause. If I play Starfield, it's going to be on stream, and it's mainly just going to be for myself because, again, comparing Starfield to Skyrim, because it's unfair to compare Starfield to Baldur's Gate 3. They are very two different types of RPGs. But comparing Starfield to Skyrim, which is a more fair comparison, given that they're both from the same developer, same company, same style of RPG, I can easily play hundreds and hundreds of hours in Skyrim, doing new playthroughs, creating new characters, doing new mods, or even just playing vanilla. I can put 100 more hours into Skyrim and enjoy every single hour. Whereas with Starfield, once I'm done with the current playthrough I have, I'm probably done with the game until probably DLC comes out. But that's the crux for me. On one hand, I do like Starfield as a game. On the other, it's just not, at least for me, it's very hard to find entertainment value with this type of content that I try to strive for in Starfield. It's just night and day between Skyrim and Starfield. And Starfield even feels like it should have came out about 2015, 2016. If it came out in those 2 years, I'd say there would probably be a lot better criticisms around the game, but at this current point in time, I just don't find myself enjoying it. If I do play it, it's going to be, like I said, either for stream or just for myself. And speaking of Skyrim, I'm going to continue the hiatus just a little bit longer, maybe because, as you all know, Skyrim was updated the past few weeks, and with how my life has been, I really haven't had the chance to sit down, update SKSE, check to see if it needs updated, and check all the mods that I have to update them as well. So Skyrim is still going to be on a little bit of a hiatus until I get things situated here. And with how I'm getting married in May and how I'm getting ready to move, it might be a while yet until we see our boy Eric again. So prepare to see some more of Roka in Baldur's Gate 3 and to see Eric eventually this year. I plan to try and get him out I want to try and have Eric back to the channel by March, no later. Otherwise, I have to do what I can to both provide content for the channel and get my life in order. There was one more thing I was going to talk about. CK3. So Crusader Kings 3, Tours and Tournaments, the Swedish Crown. I'm looking to end Saturday. Not Saturday. This video is going up on Saturday. I'm looking to end Tuesday. So hopefully that will be the grand finale where we'll do one last major war and I will give an overall view of the dynasty at large and a look at Sweden's modern history to wrap everything up in a nice little bow. And after that, I'll probably skip a while until I do another CK3 vanilla gameplay. I'm tempted to actually jump into the Persian expansion that recently came out for CK3, but I also kind of want to do something with EU4 as another Paradox historical grand strategy game where alt history can happen all the time. That is another game I'm looking to kind of bring in to the channel at some point. Sure, it's a little bit more finicky than CK3 where it's not so much character focus, but more of a nation focus. In fact, CK3 is a black lamb if you look at all Paradox's grand strategy games. Imperator Rome, CK3, EU4, Victoria 3, Hearts of Iron 4, I'm not counting Stellars, because if you do Grand Campaign, you don't play Stellars. But if you look at all those games that I just listed, they're all mainly nation focus, where CK3 is character focus. And that's why I do have a lot of hours into CK3, where it's not so much you're a nation with a character behind it, but you're a character trying to form a nation and a dynasty. But there is also a certain mod that I do want to take a look at for CK3, that is the Game of Thrones mod. Even though I haven't read the Game of Thrones yet, I really should. I really do want to take a look at that mod and do at least a one-off video on the channel for it. And going into 2024, like I said, I want to try and reach 500 subscribers by the end of the year and just continue telling stories in the games that I love. I'm never going to stop with that core mindset. Telling stories, be it fictional, my own creation, or from the look of history, because reality is often stranger than fiction, as the saying goes. That's the outline for this month. I'm going to try and do outlines every single month, starting at the beginning of the month or at the end of the month. I want to have this video out for the first one for the new year, so that way you all can see what I'm planning to do and how I'm going to try and achieve that. But until next time, I've been Type 1 Dragon. You have all been awesome, and as always, stay safe out there, everyone, and a Happy New Year.